So I got this cool little keyboard. You might have seen these. They're on eBay listed as like an i8 keyboard. If you just search for i8 keyboard, you can get these. They're about $12, $13 minimum if you want to get shipping from the United States at least. And it's a nice little wireless RF keyboard. Has a USB dongle, of course. I think they might come in Bluetooth as well, with a little touchpad, trackpad. And it's surprisingly really nice. It's got just the right features, and it works just well enough to justify that $13 price. If you need a quickie little wireless keyboard for things like, well, I'll show you what I use mine for. This one is backlit. Turn it on the top there, and you can go blue or green or red or shut it off. It goes into sleep mode, which is nice. It'll go into kind of a regular sleep mode before everything goes into sleep. So right now the light's shut off, but it's still active. You can still use the touchpad without it bringing the lights back up. And then maybe another 10 seconds later it goes into actual sleep mode, in which case you need to hit a button. Whoops. Hit a button to wake it up. Any button. And yeah, it's got all the functionality that you would want from a little tiny quickie wireless keyboard. It's got a Windows key over here. I wish it was over here. I think they could have put the Windows key on this side, put the plus and minus over here, and then put the space bar not in the exact metal. That would have been totally fine. I'd rather have the Windows key over there. Whatever. It works like a regular touchpad. You move your mouse around. You can tap to click, tap with 2 fingers to scroll, well, not tap, but to scroll, and right click with 3 fingers, like that. It's got mouse buttons left and right as hard buttons on the side, as well as here and here. So even if you only have one hand, you can set this on the desk, use your finger, left click, use your other finger, right click, and do it one-handed. We got the media buttons, back, forward, play, volume up, volume down. These are basically arrow keys, and then OK is basically mirrors, enter. You can control alt delete by doing function enter. Shut the lights off there. You can actually change the sensitivity of the trackpad by function hitting space. It's got 2 sensitivities. With my 1080p screen on Linux, one of them, if you go from left to right, goes about 2/3 of the way across the screen, and then if you hit the sensitivity, it'll go all the way across the screen. And a really cool thing about this is that it's got a lithium battery in it, and it charges off of your everyday micro USB cable. This is the one that I charge my phone off of. It's got a charge light, you hit a button light, and a battery low light. And in the back we've got one of those generic, oh crap, I can't remember what this size is called. That generic style, really common cell phone battery type size battery, lithium battery. Just comes out. And I think you can get these, you must be able to get these with AAA functionality, AAA batteries, because mine has, if you take this battery out, it has the space for them, but mine does not have the actual metal contacts in there, which is kind of odd. Seems like it wouldn't be that much of a problem to have both. So maybe if you get the ones that do AAAs, they might still have the ability to use a battery, but they may not come with a battery. I haven't really looked that hard. I just bought the cheapest one that was in the States on eBay, and then spent another 50 cents to order it from a warehouse that was only like 2 states away instead of all the way across the country. I live in Kansas, so I ordered this from Texas. Most cheap Chinese goods like this are only in warehouses in New York or New Jersey or California. So I was just like, nah, I'll spend the extra 50 cents and have it here in a couple days instead of in a week. So I will redirect the camera to my screen and try and do a demo. I don't know how well this is going to work, so bear with me. So I use this keyboard for my Linux server, and I'll show you, well, sort of. Up on top of my desk, up there somewhere, is a Mac Mini, and that's what's running Linux Mint. And then this server basically just runs my Minecraft server and my Rust server. I usually turn one on and one off at any given time. And that's just for personal use, so I can have my own space. Me and my brother play Minecraft sometimes together on our server. And it's really nice to not have to have a separate complete keyboard and mouse, you know, full size, just for this little server that 99.9% of the time sits on top of my desk and doesn't get touched, just because the server runs. It just runs. I don't have to touch it that often. So the alternative to a keyboard like this is either having a separate keyboard and mouse or unplugging my main PC's keyboard and mouse into the Linux server, doing whatever I need to do, plugging it back into my PC, blah 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 blah. It's annoying. So right now we're asleep. Wake it up. All of your regular touchpad, trackpad functionality applies. You can double click on stuff, maximize, double click. If you double click a little bit slower and hold the second time, you can drag stuff. But you don't really need to do that because you've got these hard buttons that you can click and drag. You know, it's fully functional. There's really no drawbacks except for the size. If you need to type something in, it's not that big of a deal. It's probably easier than typing on a phone even. Like here we can go and update Rust. I've got it already in the queue. Update. Checking for updates. You know, works great. Got your right click if you want. You've got your scroll with the 2 fingers. You know, everything works just as you would actually hope it would for any input device. So I highly recommend one of these little things. I'm also going to plan on trying it out with my Raspberry Pi. I've got a Pi 2B somewhere. I don't remember where I put it. I know a lot of people like to use this sort of thing for those. It's another, you know, server type environment that you don't necessarily touch the computer itself that often. So that would be another good candidate for a platform that you would want to use one of these on. So anyway, thanks for watching, and check these out if you want. They're great.